Welcome to your weekly focus for September the 24th through to the 30th, 2018. I want to make sure I was shuffling upright because they felt a little funky, but maybe they're just arguing. They want to start speaking before I do. My name is Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly, and thank you. Thank you truly for all the positive, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. Forgive me. I'm doing shorter readings this week. I didn't want to miss 2 weeks in a row. I know I missed you last week, so I didn't want to do that again. But I was violently ill. I'm starting to feel better, and I thought, well, I'll give it a try. And, started with Aries, so I'm over the halfway point. So it looks like I'm going to be successful. But I hear my pillow talking, so, I wanted to reserve my energy and just get the message out there, and hopefully gives you some guidance to walk your path in a positive light going forward. So we have the full moon in Libra, so happy birthday, Libra. Let's start there. Now, okay, for some reason I've got to say this to you because I haven't said it in quite some time, but whoever made up that rule of one candle on the cake and, you get one wish, or you have all the candles on the cake, but you only get one wish. What a negative soul that person must have been. My goodness. You have to wait 364 days to have one wish? I don't think so. Make a wish in every part of your life. The sun is in your sign, the moon, you have your new moon, so it's beautiful. It's beautiful to set some goals and some dreams and some, put some wants and desires in different parts of your life, your spirituality, your health and well-being, your stature in the community, your relationships, your friendships, your partnerships and associations, work, career, hobbies, fun, joy. Make sure you're doing at least 10 wishes. Seriously. That should be a minimum. And I don't even think that's enough. How preposterous to only have one wish. So, Four of Pentacles. Oh gosh, we don't want to let go of what we already have because it's safe and it's what we know. But you gotta. When this card comes out, where we are saying, oh, I want to move forward in this direction so bad, and that big, huge gate is behind you to walk through. But we are cradling one in our arms. We've got our feet on the other ones. And we do not want to let go of what we already have. That is that illusion. I'm going to go back to the last full moon. It's come out like 3 or 4 times now. And we received the cloak card. And it was time to remove the cloak. And so it's time to remove the cloak. It's time to let go of some things in your life to be able to stand up and just walk right through that gate behind you. Look at the angels are guarding its way. So only goodness can be behind it. Look at that full moon. Believing your dreams, your goals, your desires, your wants. Let go of yesterday. No matter how many times you replay the situation in your mind, guess what? It ends the same way. And yes, when you say, well, I could have done this, you ever walk away from a conversation, you're really heated, and it was like, ooh, they really got under your skin, and you think, oh, I should have said this. That would have been fabulous. Like, that would have just ended it right there. Why didn't I think of that? Because you had the wisdom in you all along. You just didn't take the time to tap into it. The minute you lose your temper, the minute you've lost the argument, the debate. But that's your wisdom coming out, right? And tapping into your wisdom. You know where you want to go. So let go of the things that no longer bring value in. And know that you now own that wisdom to go forward. You don't have to replay it again in your mind. You have that wisdom. Next time you're in that situation, you can tap into it. You know it's there already. So celebrate things when you play it backwards and it's like, oh, I should have done this. Say, yes, wisdom. There it is. I will do that next time. I believe in myself. I believe in my strength. Five of Swords. Well, this could be competition. And if it's competition, it's friendly competition. This could be our relationships. What we stand for, what other people stand for. Do we clash? Do we blend in harmony? It's seeing the beauty in the relationships. It's seeing the relationships that no longer serve your world. Remember, we're born and we walk to our death. And along that way, we have parents, we have siblings, aunts, uncles, grandparents, backyard friends and school friends and university friends and work friends and community friends, and everybody comes in and everybody goes out. And it's okay sometimes for relationships to take a time out or have a little bit more space or come together even more strongly. And not everybody walks that path with you the whole way. You're the only person. So it's not a bad thing. It's never a bad thing when relationships veer off to the side, because that makes room for new relationships to come in. And growing some relationships deeper and strengthening it. Because some of those people will walk to the end with you. Absolutely. So it could be a lot about relationships. So what relationships are you holding on to that don't bring in value anymore? Or maybe it's a relationship where you've always given of yourself, but you've never received in return. So is it a two-way street? Is there true balance? Could there be true balance? Do we need to work on this relationship? Have I pulled back in some way? Did I want to pull back? I don't think so. How did I end up doing that? Where can I give? Where can I show my love, my gratitude for that person in my life? Whether it's a best friend or somebody at work or in the community or a lover or a soulmate, a parent, a child, a sibling. Where can I grow those relationships stronger? Where do we have a common bond that we can build on, that we can grow from? And what relationships no longer bring in value? Either, I give my time or my energy or my worth in some way, my vitality perhaps in some way, and it doesn't come back to me. It just drains me. And is this a relationship I want to keep going forward in? And, a story just popped into my head. So I was talking to this is going back a little while though. I was talking to a girl, and, she was, telling me a little bit about herself and whatnot. And um, she was overweight, but she said, yeah, I'd like to lose it. But then again, it's okay. And then she started talking about this one relationship that she had. And she says, when I knew that relationship was over, it was the time he said to me, I think you're putting on a little bit of weight. And, all of a sudden, there's the connection. But it was just through our conversation that the connection was there. And then as we talked, she said, I might just be keeping this weight on so I don't have to enter another relationship. Maybe I truly bought into I must not be as good as I used to be now that I've got an extra 3 pounds on me. And so maybe if I just keep those 3 pounds, then I won't have to incur any kind of heartbreak or hurt or lack of self-worth because I decided to give myself to somebody. And so she went through a little bit of a healing process and coming to terms with that. And 6 months later, she was down that 3 pounds and in a relationship. Well, it was a little bit more than 3 pounds, but so there could be some kind of healing that actually happens this week, or it opens up the path for healing to begin. We have the Six of Swords in detriment, so we're going forward with somebody. But are we really tapping into each other's resources, or, it could be a business partnership, an association within the community. It could be a lover or a best friend. I think it's hard to make headway, but there are things that we need to talk about. There are issues that need to be overcome. There needs to be a balance. And tapping into the wisdom. So it's asking you not to be emotional, but it's a time to pause, detached, I guess, or at least a little bit logical. Like, I love you to pieces, but I'm always doing this, and I don't get it back, and I can't be on a one-way street here. So how can we fix this? How can we work it out? But there needs to be, maybe it's just thoughts to yourself about certain relationships this week. Although, according to the Four of Pentacles and the Five of Swords, we're having those talks. We are communicating. We may be allowing healing into our life. It's like a clearing of the air in order for you to go forward, with or without that person, with or without that environment. And the relationships that you want to grow deeper with this card, sky's the limit. And know that, sometimes we do have to walk away from relationships, and that could be part of it, and honoring yourself. Because you are so deserving of love and support and respect, and you have to see that for yourself and demand that in relationships. And I almost get a sense of you're kind of sitting on the fence and you want to please, but it's also time to think about you, because you need to be pleased as much. I get this very strongly for relationships, but I also think that there's some kind of healing, this process, this communication, and you may be thinking one thing going into it. So stay very open to the conversations that you're having, because you might learn something about yourself that you weren't aware of that was affecting the relationship in some way. Or where you've held back and you were subconsciously doing it, you're like, that isn't even me. I don't even know how I got to here. So let's back it up and let's talk it out and let's work it through. And I think there's some kind of the strength that comes through, your own empowerment comes through. Eight of Cups, new beginnings. And we have to walk away from some things that we actually love, give us comfort, ripping that cloak off and being true to ourselves, maybe in a creative way. And we're holding the violin with this deck, so I always think about creativity and how to use your passions to step into your tomorrow. And that castle is so distant, but you're going there one step at a time. But the cups that we are turning away from are some things that have always given us support or some kind of strength or maybe just the illusion of safety and security that you know you need to walk away from. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it disappears in your life, but it does transform into something different into your life. So it's very much like the child leaving home for the first time, maturing and leaving home for the first time. And of course, their parents' love doesn't change. The way they support them does, right? They have to buy their own groceries now and get their own way to work and do their own laundry. Although my mom used to go to my brother's when he first moved out and pick up his dirty laundry and drop it off. And I went with her a couple of times and I thought, gee, she doesn't do that for me. Like, a little bit of jealousy in there. And, she says, well, this way she says, yeah, I don't have to worry about it, but him. I drop it off on Sunday mornings, or I pick it up on Sunday mornings because I want to see the house after partying all weekend, and if he's safe, and if he's eating, and who he's hanging out with, and is he behaving himself. I thought, oh, my mom learned a lot from her. Hope to still keep learning for years to come. 4 of Cups, be grateful. Be grateful for what you already have in your life, especially the things you take granted for. So a couple of signs have gotten this, and I've said, when you wake up tomorrow, say thank you to your pillow, your bed, even your alarm clock, because it gets you moving and keeps you on time. Say thank you to your toothbrush and to the fridge and to the kettle, because we just take the fridge for granted until it stops working, then we hate the fridge. We detest the fridge. We kick the fridge. We get a new one and we plug it in and we are so grateful for that new fridge. We just admire it. Look at the nice clean shelves. Let's put the food away. This is so exciting. And 3 days later, we're taking it for granted again. And we can't always be saying, please help me. Please bring me. I want this in my life. I want. And never say thank you, thank you, thank you. So make it a part of your everyday experience going forward. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.